Well, I mean, first of all, as I've always said, the quarter on quarter is a little bit too short of a time to measure our business. We measure it sort of more on a year-to-year basis. So the quarters tend to have some noise in them and stuff like that. That said, the quarter came out better than we actually expected it internally, and it's mostly, I would say, the effect of rationalization and cost cuts that we've done 1.5 years ago, so that is finally sort of showing up. But then again, I mean, we've been in a long development period. We're coming out of that, so it's sort of natural that the costs at least shift character, so that the cost for development, etc., is going down, whereas the cost for marketing and sales are going to grow. And this is a trend that we're going to see. Now, then that's specifically referring to SEQR, of course. As we have 3 business divisions, and shouldn't forget those. I mean, both the other divisions are now profitable, especially distribution, that after 4 years of build-up is now reached the volumes where I expect a profit going forward. Again, it's fairly close to break even, so we might have some noise there, but basically we should be profitable in that division going forward. STS, which is our legacy business, is doing great. We had a fantastic growth last year, and we're holding that growth. I mean, clearly we're not going to be able to have the same growth this year, but we have to consolidate, and we're still going to grow, but in a less aggressive speed this year. So all in all, I mean, we were very happy with this quarter, and I think if we look a couple of years back, I mean, we have a negative cash flow from operations at 160 million. Last year it was 98 or 92, sorry, couldn't remember that exactly. And this year, I mean, the second quarter really shows that we are at the negative cash flow at about 55 million per year. That's our current speed. So this to me is the most important number, because it essentially is, gives a very good trend on when we are breaking even, and etc. And that's our first goal as a company, of course. Absolutely. I mean, we were very happy of getting our first order in the North Americas, and that it's a market we haven't been active in, and it's really sort of the last continent that we, not counting Australia then, but that we haven't had presence in. So for a number of years, we looked for an opening to sort of get into that market, and we were very happy about that order, which we can build on for the rest of the continent. What was funny is that we beat Emida, which is the local seamless in the US. So we beat them in the home market, and apparently we beat them quite big too. So that gives us quite some. That's very positive for the future. I should also say that this order was probably the quickest deal we made. It took 6 weeks from the company contacted us to we actually did the deal, which is a very short sales cycle. So clearly, having had our put a toe into that continent, we are now starting to work on the other operators, and clearly it's a target-rich market. The local competition is quite entrenched, but again, we beat them once, and I don't see any reason we couldn't beat them again. And if we can get a significant presence on that continent, then we are truly global. And yeah, I mean, that whole business, the STS, we've taken market shares We've taken some really good decisions in that business over the last 5 years, and that's paying off now. And I think next year as well will be a very good year. Well, absolutely. I mean, this was in a way a no-brainer for us, because we decided early last year, that we had to go contactless, because the contactless development in the world is unstoppable now. The traction is there. All terminals are going to be contactless terminals within a few years. Already today, as we understand from MasterCard, there's 35 million active terminals in the world, and it's growing tremendously all the time. As a Swede, we are actually one of the last in the world to bring this technology online, so to say. But today we have ICA, we have Elgiganten, etc. in Sweden. But if you go down to Europe, I mean, almost everybody takes contactless at this point. UK is fantastic, and in Poland, I don't think they use anything else. It's the story repeats itself. Anyway, so we decided to take on that technology, and there's 8 providers of this technology in the world, namely the host card emulation and the tokenization and all the sort of background that you need, all the systems to be on the card rails. And the MeaWallet was the best. So we choose their technology to incorporate into our code base very quickly, or almost immediately, in that I said internally that we should really own this technology, because now it's core technology for SEQR. And not only that, MEA represents a business-to-business opportunity in the mobile payment market that we really didn't have ourselves. I mean, we are a business-to-consumer. SEQR is a business-to-consumer proposition, right? So what MEA does is that they let a bank, for example, that has a mobile bank app that you can look at your the summary of the accounts, and maybe you can pay some bills and blah blah, but you can't pay in a physical store. But with MEA's technology inserted in such a bank app, suddenly the app becomes a means of payment. And since all cards, I mean, plastic is going to disappear. It's going to take other shapes and forms, like wearables or mobile and what have you. All card issuers today need to build this technology. Now, technically speaking, of course, it means that they'll become, if you want, a competitor to SEQR. If you have a bank that have a bank app and we insert MEA's technology into it, suddenly you can go pay with it, and people could use that app instead of SEQR. And there's several 100,000 card issuers in the world, and we just felt that we don't really care if we create a few thousand competitors to SEQR, because SEQR stands, the market is so big, but it gives us an opportunity to make money on that vector as well. So at the same time as we got hold of our core technology, that we now control that whole value chain, at the same time another revenue stream open up for us, for SEQR. So in the end, and I think we got them at a very good price. I know we got them at a very good price, because we knew how much it would cost us to develop this technology ourselves, and we bought it at much cheaper than that. So for us, it was a good price, and hopefully for the sellers, they were happy too. But in the end, easy decision. We launched our SEQR Contactless on, I believe, the 3rd or the 4th of July. And with technology, it works in the test bench. We had beta and alpha tested it a lot. problem with technology is that as soon as you start doing it in mass, as soon as you start scaling it, you'll find other problems. So what we choose to do is to invite people, namely our most frequent users, etc., to start using SEQR. So we decided to add about 100 a day users in order to scale it up slowly, in order to find errors, which we have, and we have fixed them. So the amount of contactless transactions today will not contribute significantly or almost anything to the Q3 results. We will probably start seeing effects of it in Q4, because in September we're going to let everybody have contactless. But what we can already see behavior. One should be aware, first of all, that the contactless transaction is much more revenue for us than our normal QR code payments. But what we see of the users that now have contactless is that they have increased their frequency of payments quite dramatically, and this is not strange at all. We did this in Sweden now. We will let everybody in Europe in September have it, but we like to have Sweden as a test bench, which is a very masochistic thing to do. But in any case, so what we've seen is an increased frequency of payments of people, because you can use it in more places. For you as a Swede, you understand that suddenly you can shop at ICA. ICA has 60% of the food retail market in Sweden, and we didn't have that before. Suddenly, most people go to an ICA shop, and they were never going to change shop just because they could pay with SEQR. Now they can go to their ICA shop as they usually do and pay with SEQR. Elgiganten for white goods and stereos and phones and stuff like that. We didn't have them before. Now we have them, and we see quite a significant amount of transactions, which are high value transactions at the Elgiganten. So what we guessed so far, so good. It's holding up to what our plan was essentially. But let's talk in Q4 where we have where everybody has it, and we can see how it works then.